My fast tip here is that in Texans, same old equals same old. In other words, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the first law of insanity, right? And that's where you and I have a lot of common ground, because we said scratch our head, we don't get it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're sitting still and you're not moving forward, and yet you're kind of not changing. And I think in a lot of cases, people know that they need to make a change. They need to do something.
So my other little fast tip is that, if you have one person can save a minute, every day, depending on how many days a month, that might be 20 to 30 minutes per person per month. And and that may not seem a lot for us individual person, but by the time you do the math, right? So by the time you do that 10 times over, or maybe companies 100-fold, or for bigger corporations, it can get into thousands of man hours over the year, right? So
yeah, it's like going to Starbucks and spending $5 a day. It doesn't feel like much. When you do that, for 20 days out of the month, it adds up to some big money, right?
Right.
So I think it's the same thing. Those little things don't seem like a lot, but they actually can have a big impact if you add all that up.
Right.
So those 10 minutes, those 20 minutes, especially for a business. I mean, if you think about, if you operate a business and you get down to what your operational cost is per hour, that really starts to make sense. Like, okay, 30 minutes is actually quite a bit of money for me when I count, how much it actually costs me to operate.
Right.
But I don't think a lot of people really think about it in that detail. But in reality, it does get down. When you talk about process, it does get down to that detail. So
yeah. Well, interesting enough, I always try and get people's imagination that are a little reluctant to looking at processes. So I always challenge them. So another little fast tip for me is, hey, think about how you could save $1 a day, right? And it's back to your Starbucks situation. If every person could save $1 a day, that's $5 a week, or $6, depending on how many days you work. And then again, by the time you do the multiple, depending on the number of people, and and most people can figure out how to save more than $1 a day. And so I find it absolutely fascinating that people don't even want to do the basic math to figure out where they're losing a lot of opportunity. So
yeah, and I think it's, people don't really know, right? There's so many, like, especially in today, there's so many going on that, and I think that's why working with process professionals that do think in that way is so important, because they are going to do that type of thinking, that granular looking into your process and figuring out, okay, what is it really costing you to do it the way you're doing it?